T-Bot here. Just wanted to share with you something pretty cool that I feel like some of my nerd friends should know about. I'm just going to do this really quick and dirty. You guys should be able to follow along pretty quickly and understand what is going on here. So, we all have ChatGPT. We all love ChatGPT, but we don't like the privacy issues related with ChatGPT, and so, people have started developing, and we have these other large language models which you can run on PCs and everything else. And so I did some research the other day. Come to find out, we are actually able to load up these models right here on an Android phone, in a couple different ways. And in addition, not just loading up these models, but we are also able to load up anything that will run in an ARM Linux environment using an Ubuntu or a Debian layer, which I'll get into here in a minute. But basically, this is an app called Private AI. It's very early in development, and it's missing some key features that I would love to see, but it is inevitably able to load up these models right here on an Android phone. Now, just a quick preface, this is limited to the amount of RAM that you have on your phone. So there are models out there, of course, that are 220 plus gigabytes, and those are obviously the best ones out there, but you need a computer that has that much RAM for them to be able to operate correctly. So most phones, at least at the higher end, have maybe 10 or 12, and so you're limited to like a 4 to 5 gigabyte model file if you want your phone to continue running correctly, right? So if you go up here to switch, you'll notice that I have a whole bunch of these loaded up. There's one here called Tiny Llama. That is the quickest and easiest one, and I can just say hello to it, right? And it'll respond to me with a whole bunch of stuff, right? I don't really use Tiny Llama. I find that it is buggy, but I have found that there's this other set of them called Tiny Dolphin, which Tiny Dolphin is an uncensored tiny model, which it is also able to answer coding questions, correct code, and all of that other stuff completely offline without you having to actually interface with the internet. It also obviously has a token context size that you can set, so how far back your chat history it will use contextually, and then you have the option for it to read using, pretty shitty voice. But basically you also have the option to have it act as something, or, that you're a friendly AI assistant. And once you prompt it, basically you can have it talk like a pirate. These uncensored ones, you can actually completely have it, say anything or act as anybody. It's completely unbiased, and it will tell you literally anything that you want to know. And I mean anything, even the stuff that you don't want to type into your Google search box. Like, it'll tell you everything, which is pretty cool. It's just kind of a nifty piece of technology to be able to play with, and, to be able to have something that is completely offline, that only takes up like 5 gigs of storage on my phone, which is like a couple movies. Like, I'm able to ask this thing fucking anything, or, interface with it, or do whatever I need to do with it anywhere I don't have internet. Or if I just want, a private answer to a question. So it's actually quite impressive. The Llama models that they have are from Meta, and they are open source, and like there are so many that are available through various online resources where you're able to, you can load up any of them that you want. Some of them specialize in coding, some of them specialize in poetry, some of them specialize in law, and again, they are completely offline. They'll run on this, they'll run on a computer, and that brings me to my other topic here, and that is running Ubuntu inside of an Android phone and getting this working, and basically anything including Blender and whatever else running right here on my Android phone. Now, I have a Galaxy Fold 6, but you can do this on any previous, couple year phone. It will work just fine. You're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to find this app called Andronix first. This just basically is an app that you can either pay for premium. I did. It gives you, various Linux distributions that you can just tap. You can say, okay, I want Ubuntu. Which version do you want? Say you want 22. You can select which, whether you want something with a desktop environment. Okay, what desktop environment? And after you go through this whole thing, it'll copy some commands to your clipboard, and then you can come back out and you can go download this app called Termux. I suggest getting this from somewhere other than the App Store, because basically you get an old version from the App Store. They kind of clamp down on some of the ability of this thing, and I would just suggest finding it either as an APK or from basically anywhere else other than the Play Store. Sorry, I'm also doing all this stuff here so I can actually show you what this looks like because I already had it open. Anyways, so basically you're going to open up Termux now after you have those commands copied, right? And you'll enter them right in here, and it'll go through the whole process. I won't walk you through that because it's pretty straightforward, and inside of the app it tells you exactly what to do. But after you're done, you'll notice that it has these scripts that are loaded up here and available for you to run. And so I can just go /start Ubuntu 22.sh. Okay, and it's going to load me in as root at localhost. I can then go VNC server start, which it should run automatically in some cases. And then you can actually have a choice here, whether you want it to open up in QHD, Full HD, just HD ready, which I think is 720p, or a custom resolution in case you want to have it perfectly fit your phone. Just for now, I'm going to do automatic, just to show you. Okay, and then you're going to see new Tiger VNC server remote desktop on 5901 for display 1. Okay, cool. Well, now we can either do one of two things. We can either go to another computer and we can open up a VNC client and we can load up the desktop that's running within this phone from any other machine that's on the same Wi-Fi network or anything else. Or we can do what I do, which is go to basically a VNC client here on my phone. And so all I have here set up is it's basically just 127.0.0.1. It would also work with localhost :5901, either one of those, and then whatever password you set, picture quality, and everything else. Once you hit connect, it'll bring you into your desktop. You can bring up your keyboard, et voila, we have a fully functioning desktop PC running here, and I can even load up things like Blender, GIMP, any of the other softwares that would run inside of an ARM architecture. If they have a version of it, it's here, and you're able to run it right on your phone. Now, don't try to render anything crazy here, but it's just kind of cool proof of concept stuff, and the fact that you're able to basically run anything that you can run in Ubuntu right here on your Android. I mean, that's just the coolest thing. You got full Chrome. You can do your email manager. You can do anything in a terminal. You can run servers. You can do a whole mess of stuff. For diagnostics, NDI viewers. I mean, Jesus, the list is endless. We all know what's available for Linux and Ubuntu in general. So, once you're within this environment, running things like Llama and other large language model services inside of this are quite easy, and you can mess around with it at your discretion. I hope you enjoyed this little quick tutorial. One caveat I want to mention in this whole process that I feel like is pretty important to mention is that if you're on a later version of Android, or if you're on a newer Samsung phone, or pretty much anything running, I think, Android 12 or later, you will get a notification inside of Termux or inside of Andronix saying that you need to run a certain set of ADB commands, meaning you need to plug your phone into a computer, download ADB, and run these couple commands in order to turn off one feature that was introduced inside of Android 12, which is essentially intended to prevent certain programs from opening a lot of processes in the background. Obviously, this is a nice thing, but in the case of Termux, you want it to be able to load Ubuntu in the background, right? So that's a lot of processes. And it'll work fine without doing this, but as soon as you throw it in the background for more than a couple minutes, it's going to close the app, unless you do this ADB command. So do your own research. This tutorial is more of kind of like a, hey, this is possible, here's roughly how you do it. I'm obviously not going into super details on any of this, but I just wanted to share this cool use of an Android phone, the ability to do all this large language model stuff, and just the ability to run ARM-based Ubuntu Debian applications right on your phone. It's cool shit. These guys.